Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 3.5 thousand BC. The album, Dad. The album, I Need Jesus. The album, Dad. AF. This little light of mine, I'm every woman. Okay, let's get to this video. I was like, what song did I sing when I was like in Sunday school or when I went to church camp the one summer I did, which is probably why I ended up becoming a drama channel, because I didn't go to enough church camp. I didn't. I need Jesus in my life. I really do today, because we're going to be talking about all kinds of drama. So we're going to be talking about the fact that Jeffree Star has come out and he has announced that he and his boyfriend Nathan have broken up, I believe, after 5 years. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. And we are also going to talk about James Charles. It is like the second week of January, and I feel like so many things have already been, I mean, there is literally like drama popping off everywhere. And I was like, okay, James, this is your year. This is your year to stay out of the drama. But it is literally like the 10th, and he is already pulling himself into things. And, you know, one of the things that's interesting to me about James Charles is that he always seems to kind of deflect all of the drama that occurs to him, when having been somebody that has covered a lot of this drama, not all of it, but some of it with James Charles, that much of what he goes through is self-inflicted, right? So then that would mean that the lessons are for him to learn in life, right? From how to stop this drama from happening and all that kind of stuff. So yesterday, I watched this video that he posted, and hold on, I want to make sure I pull up the correct, well, he also did this interview. So when he comes out of restaurants and places like that, this YouTube channel called The Hollywood Fix, if they also have an Instagram if you don't know, they stop him like all the time, right? And they always question him, and they question other celebrities and stuff like that too. And so I don't know if like the Hollywood Fix, I have to say, like, I wish them the best of luck. They're not my favorite channel. But anyway, they come out and they're like, and I'll tell you why, because they clickbait the hell out of stuff. And I'm going to be talking a lot about clickbait in this video today. Their video is called James Charles Talks Jeffree Star, Nathan Schwandt, Shane Dawson, and Addison Rae. And no, he really doesn't. They fire these questions at him and he refuses to talk about it. But then they title their video that. So what happened was that James and his friend Drew are coming out of his favorite restaurant, and they start firing questions off right away at him. They're like, they're like, so what's going on with Jeffree? Or he and Nathan broke up? And James is like, I have no idea. And they're like, so what's going on with Shane? Everybody's saying that Shane Dawson doesn't really have a love of makeup. And he's like, I have no idea. Like, he literally doesn't respond to any of it. And I think James has made it pretty clear that he doesn't want to be, in the middle of this stuff anymore. So it was just interesting to me about this whole interview. And then they put it up on Instagram, and it was like, James Charles talks about this again. And so I saw it on Instagram, which was when I went over to the video and I watched the whole video clip of it, and I was like, this is really interesting to me. And I don't know, it's just the way that we spin things, the way that we talk about things. Can we in 2020, listen, I've said this from the get-go, okay? I do not mind clickbait in a video. I really don't. But like, when the clickbait like takes away, when your clickbait title is what people are coming for, and there's really, or what you have led them to be there for, and is nowhere to be found in the video whatsoever, you are on your own going to lose your subscribers, because they're gonna get sick and tired of it over time. I know I am, okay? I am so tired of it, right? Because I go to all these videos that say things like dogs dancing and dogs smiling, right? And I get there and it's like makeup tutorials. No, I'm just joking. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like, just the clickbait is overkill at this point. I talked about this yesterday when I was talking about the Nick Avocado and the Trisha Paytas and the Stephanie Sue and all this kind of stuff. It's like, okay, clickbait is not a form of creativity, okay? Clickbait is a marketing move to get people to your video, right? You can clickbait a title a little bit to get people interested so that they stay, but to get them there and it really not, like, I don't know. Anyway, James Charles did this video yesterday, and the video was called, let me pull it up. It was called, What Really Happened in 2019. Now, I want to throw up the thumbnail right here of the picture of James Charles where it appears as if he's crying, okay? I watched all 22 minutes and 13 seconds of this video. I did not see him cry once in this video, okay? I didn't see him. I don't know if he is, I mean, this is obviously a contrived thumbnail. Whatever, okay? I'm sure it's pulling in the views because the video currently has, hold on a second. Oh, that was, I mean, you can't pull up statistics on a screenshot. The video currently has, hold on, please. Drum roll. Come on, James. The video currently has, it's number 5 on trending and it has 1.8 million views, okay? So let me tell you about this video. The video is about 22 minutes of him talking about everything in 2019 except for what really happened in 2019. In fact, the video should be called What Really Happened in 2019 That I'm Not Going to Address, or What I'm Not Going to Address in 2019 and Leave Out of This Video, is what it really should be called. And he literally goes month by month and he talks about everything. And I understand why he doesn't want to talk about some things, but this is where, for me, it's frustrating because he even kind of makes a joke about it with May. He's like, you know, and 2 major things happened in May. And he talks about, like, how he went to the Met Gala and then, and you know, like, this is the thing, is he wants to kind of play it off as really, really funny. Well, he got really, like, a lot of negativity for the outfit that he wore to the Met Gala, Met Gala. Come on, Peter. The Met Gala. But he doesn't even really joke at that fact. Like, he doesn't even say, like, how bad he looked at it. Like, he takes it as a very serious moment. And then he goes, and the other thing, I think we all know the other thing that happened in May. Well, we're all sitting there watching it thinking he's going to be talking about this By Sisters video, right? With Tati and Jeffree Star and stuff. And he goes, my birthday. And then he puts up this little, like, funny face emoji. And I'm like, you know, listen, okay? For me, and like he kind of like, he talks about Coachella, but he doesn't really talk, he's like, and I'm not gonna, you know, really talk about that. And I respect that. Like he says, I'm not gonna talk about everything that happened with Coachella. Like that way, I respect that. If he had come to May and he had said, and you know, I had some falling out with some friendships in May, and I'm not going to talk about that, but to then play it up like that, he doesn't talk about the cancellation of his tour. Then he goes in and he talks about singing the Star Spangled Banner at the Staples Center, but he doesn't talk about how he actually took that song from somebody else. Allegedly, right? Those sisters, I covered that in this video. It's like watching James Charles relive a year of his life and not addressing the reality of any of the drama or the real things that occurred. I'm sitting there watching it and I'm thinking, yeah, I covered that. Yeah, I covered, but you're forgetting this. It's like he rewrote his own 2019. And quite frankly, as somebody that has a little bit of life experience, it's kind of disturbing because when you watch it, because he then goes into June and July as being times that he took off, you know, from the internet and whatever, and that he was a time of healing from him. Well, a time of healing from what? Because you didn't address in this video, time of healing from your birthday, you didn't say anything. You know, I really, and whenever I say this, people are always like, Peter, you're so hopeful for him. You're so hopeful for him. I am hopeful for James Charles. I really do believe that he is going to grow and we're going to see him turn into a different person. I have to believe that. I believe that for everybody, right? I don't believe that he's going to stay, I hope he's not going to stay stagnant forever. But this video so missed the mark for me. You know, he could have got in there and he could have said, you know, like, I don't want to address the Coachella thing. The way that he handled the Coachella thing, I thought was really, really well done. But then he got to May and he could have said, you know, I lost some really dear friendships in May and I don't want to talk about that anymore. I'm trying to leave that in 2019. And people can say, well, him not talking about it is him leaving it in 2019. You can't do a year in review and only address all the good things and not, and say everything that happened and not address the things that happened that were hard, right? And then you could talk about, you know, this, I would have even left the Star Spangled Banner thing out. I wouldn't have even said anything about that because that just brings more attention back to what he did, which is maybe what he's wanting to do. He doesn't even talk about canceling the tour, I don't think. I don't think I heard him mention canceling the tour, which is a huge deal to his audience that he canceled this tour, right? And he could have said, you know, I had to cancel this tour this year and that was a really, really hard thing for me. And, you know, I'm hoping in 2020 maybe or 2021 I can do a tour again, you know? He could have turned those things that had happened to him and into learning experiences. But again, what happens is it comes across as that he really hasn't learned and he just doesn't want to talk about it, right? Sometimes we have to talk about the things that we went through. Sometimes we have to talk about the things that have happened and the learning experiences for us. I sure that he is well aware of all of the things that has happened, and he looks at those on a regular basis. He seems very, very happy, you know? He seems very, very happy in his Instagram stories, and he seems like he's really having a good time with his friends. If you've watched him for a long time, there was a period of time where he was just really focused on his career and doing, you know, videos and doing this and doing that and blah, 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 whatever. And lately he's been hanging out, it seems like, with Drew a lot and other friends of his. So I think that's great. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, James Charles is a 19, 20-year-old kid. Even though he has this, you know, huge, you know, empire, he's still, at the end of the day, a 19 or 20-year-old kid. When I was 19 or 20, I was like out with my friends hanging out, right? And there are other 19 or 20-year-olds along the way that have turned empires into it. But, you know, I think the thing is, like, Paris Hilton is a good example of this. At some point, you have to decide, like, when am I going to get serious about things and whatever. And I think, I don't know, I think it's going to be interesting to see how people address drama in 2020, and I mean the people that it happens with, you know? I think that this would have been an opportunity for him to put the past in the past and just say, all these things happened, and I'm not going to address it in 2020, and I'm going to move on, and whatever. I know people are always like, well, he doesn't have to do that, he doesn't have to say that. He doesn't. That's absolutely right. But I think, I don't know, it's closure. It's closure for the viewers, and it's closure for James, too, to say, this is where I go on, instead of just kind of leaving it open. Yet again, people wonder, you know, what's happening. So anyway, I don't know. The video wasn't horrible, but to me, it just was, I was like, I hope he really does address some things in here. I think it will be healthy for him, and he didn't. So anyway, James, I wish you the best of luck in 2020. I'm sure this is going to be another great year for you. Well, I hope it's a better year than 2019 for you. And I said this in my video yesterday. Why can we not wish compassion and love for everybody? I wish it for everybody, you know? And James did have a really tough 2019 for a lot of different reasons, and I wish him the best 2020. All right, let's talk about Jeffree Star and Nathan. Now, yesterday I did a video and I talked about how Jeffree Star had taken an absence from YouTube and Twitter and everything for an Instagram for like 5 or 6 days, and he had been absent from all of that. And I said in my video I was not going to speculate about what that was about, and I asked people in the comment sections to not speculate as well. I had to go in there and I had to remove several of the comments. Even though I said it in my video, people continue to go in there and do it. So I had to remove several of your comments. If you want to know why your comment is gone, that is why. I asked nicely in there. I also, I'm like, do I put this out there or not? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was going to say something about a comment I got. Somebody left me a comment on my video last night, on my video about pee-pee, and they said, I hope your dog is in hell. Where does somebody, like, who are you that sits there and says that to somebody? But I said in 2020 I was going to focus on the love, and I actually read the comment, and I was just kind of like, this is really just kind of so sick, you know? And I just kind of laughed for a second. I don't know. But anyway, if there's anybody in the world that deserves to be in heaven, I sort of got it for my dog Pee-Pee. So I know where he is and where he isn't. But, you know, Jeffree Star then, today I got up and he had posted this video, and, you know, he talks about speculation in there and people saying, like, mean things and whatever, which kind of goes back to that a little bit. And, you know, like, I was reading it's weird. Like, I didn't expect this. But I kind of, like, when everybody was talking about why he was taking an absence, I really had no clue. I just had no clue, and I was like, I just was like, I'll wait till he comes out and says it, you know? So I don't know. I will say what's interesting about this, and, you know, a lot of people have asked me to do a predictions video for 2020. I did a predictions video for 2019, and, like, I think it was like 95% of my predictions came true. Literally in a live stream a week and a half ago, I said a huge gay couple, if you want to consider them that, I mean, 2 men, but whatever, however they identify themselves, was going to break up at the very beginning of 2020. And people even said, is it Jeffree and Nathan? And I said, I don't think it is. But I was like, last night, or this morning when I woke up and this happened, I was like, this is so bizarre. Like, I just said that in a live stream. I don't know. The whole thing is, you know, kind of sad to me. I watched the video. Here, I'm just gonna, my 100% honest opinion, I don't feel like I got any answers from watching the video. I don't know that I deserve any answers, you know? I will say that several years ago, and if you watch my vlog, you know this, my husband and I were going through a really, really tough time, and bordering on divorce, tough time. And that was when we decided to enter marriage counseling, and marriage counseling saved our life. This was probably 3 years ago. Marriage counseling saved our life. You know, at that time, that Alex and I started getting in counseling and talking and whatever, there was a lot of conversation in there about, like, if we were to ever to take a break, like, would he do one last video with me? Would he be willing to, like, and at that point, I had like 40,000 subscribers. It wasn't like I had millions, you know? Because I felt like the people that watched me and had invested in my life and had all that kind of stuff had a right to kind of know what had happened between us, and that we had put 110% in our relationship and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that Jeffree Star or Nathan owes that to us. I didn't really feel like I had any kind of answers to what had happened, other than he posted his house tour where apparently Nathan seemed off. I watched the video. I didn't think that Nathan seemed off in the video, but that's just me. He's always kind of seemed like in the background, kind of like, you know, whatever. And then apparently they were talking about, he talked a lot about grieving and mental health, and I'm not going to address those things because those things are very, very serious. I wish him the best. You know, I think it's really sad. I think any kind of relationship, high profile like that, has got to be difficult. Listen, I'm no public figure, okay? I am nobody's public figure. I am nobody that is on any kind of level, have any kind of huge following whatsoever. But I have to tell you, at moments, it's very, very difficult for my husband. The messages that people send him, the negativity that people send him, the speculations that people say, you know, it's like people say really hurtful things to him sometimes, and he didn't choose. Like Jeffree says this in the video, it's like my husband didn't choose to be in the spotlight. Nathan didn't choose. Kind of, though, he did, and kind of my husband did. I mean, sometimes, you know, it's like I'll say to my husband, I'll be like, well, you kind of know what this is about. Like, if you're choosing to be, like, you can say no, and he says no more than he says yes these days, right? And I have to say that has really, really helped our relationship. There have been celebrities in this world, and I'm going to reference Dolly Parton because I adore her and she's one of my favorites, whose partners are never in the spotlight. You know, I think Dolly Parton has been married for something like 40 years, and her husband has, like, there's one picture of him out there or something like that. He's never been in a spotlight. It kind of makes you wonder, and then you see people like, you know, who's like Laura Lee and her husband, like he has his own channel, they do videos together and whatever. Some people are comfortable with it, some people aren't. And I think it just depends. And I think sometimes it can be too much before it isn't. It makes me sad. There's been a lot of speculation through the years that Jeffree and Nathan weren't a real couple. I don't believe that. And I actually did videos in the past, at the very beginning, defending them together. And I always kind of thought they were a cool couple. I always thought they were a really neat, breaking boundaries. We're going to do it our way. It's us against the world kind of couple. And I think that's a cool thing, you know? I wish there were more couples like that in the world. So, I don't know. I liked that they said that he said that they were still friends. That's never worked for me and my exes. I'm civil with my exes, but we're not good friends. But I wish them all the best in the world, and I hope they find peace in 2020. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about all that stuff in the comment section below. If you are gonna have a comment about either of these things, I want you to keep it classy, keep it kind, keep it compassionate. If I see it, because I don't see every comment sometimes when I'm going through it, but if I see it and it's cruel, I will delete it. I just want you to know that. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a fantastic Saturday. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.